So I want to share with you guys little fun facts as far as history. Today, in 1940, Winston Churchill gave his first speech as Prime Minister. What he said is, I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. You ask, well, why do you say that? Well, because we're in the real estate business, we actually have to do that. We have to work really hard. We have to sweat it out. And obviously, you know, there's some tears involved sometimes when we don't close a deal.
I see those a lot.
Ooh, all right. So my question to you guys is, what is it you want in terms as far as real estate? What are you guys looking to do in terms as far as getting out of this business? Is it actually money? Is that what motivates you? Is it a nice car? Is it a lifestyle? Or is it maybe traveling? Or is it something that you actually want to say, well, listen, I want to take some time off, make so much money, and move forward? So what I ask for you guys is to write down, what is it you guys want? What specifically are you guys looking to gain out of this business? All right? And then second question is, do you have a written plan exactly what you want? Do you have a compass where it's basically telling you, I'm heading to the right direction? Am I actually engaged with my plans, with my goals, with my aspirations? Okay. Here's an example. In 1953, researchers actually did a study in Yale graduates. They interviewed them, and basically only 3% had clear specific goals of what they wanted. 20 years later, the researchers came back. They basically interviewed the class members again that were actually still alive, and the 3% that actually had their goals written down specifically had more money than the 97%. The actual accumulation effect of actually wealth, that 3% actually did more than the 97% of the graduates from Yale. I think it's kind of fascinating if you think about it. You know, if you actually have a written plan goal, you know, and you look at it, it's all right, here's the beginning, I'm in the middle, here's the end. Okay? So I'm reading this book on neuro-linguistic programming. Basically talks about the outcome that you're looking to get from your clients, obviously situations, your goals. And he actually has 6 points in terms as far as what is it you actually could get or have a specific goal. So I ask that you guys write this down, okay? Number 1, so again, what do you want, okay? What would you like it to happen? So this is a question you guys got to actually, throughout the day, just write it down, maybe at nighttime, say, listen, am I actually getting to what I want? All right, second is, where? Who's going to be in there? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it somebody that you actually care about? And also, when? What's the timeline? Is it 5 years, a 10-year plan, a 1-year plan? You know, Bill, do you have a 6-month plan? So, you know, that puts you on the spot or anything, you know. If anybody actually has a plan, does anybody have a plan in terms as far as their business, what they want to have in escrow? John does. I'm sure Cindy, do you have a plan? Yeah. See? Danilo, do you actually have a plan? Okay, perfect. And how are you going to get it? What exactly you're going to do to actually get that? How is that going to happen for you? Okay? And then third is, what will you see, hear, feel when it happens? Can you visualize yourself actually being there already? Can you mentally grasp that visually? For me, is actually being on the beach with my kids, just relaxing, you know, maybe sipping on a beer or a pina colada, just relaxing. That's something that I actually have always ingrained in my head. When I'm successful, this is what I want. This is my outcome, okay? And what is the outcome in terms as far as your goals, okay? Do you see yourself maybe, you know, in Mexico? Do you see yourself in Spain in terms as far as just relaxing? Do you see yourself, your investments as far as real estate or stocks, you know, growing for you? And the thing is, how much do you want it? How bad do you really want it? That's something that, you know, that you have to, so what is called like fire in the belly, is how bad is it you want it? We all have life cycles. We all have outcomes. We all have, you know, I'm too old, too fat. You know, I don't fit the perfect model as a real estate agent. You know, I don't understand the language, or you know, you don't understand what's going on in my life. Well, guess what? If you guys really want it, you can make it happen. All right, and resources. What is it that is actually going to help you get there? Right? We all have a point in our life where we were excited. We did something that we're like, man, I can't believe I did it. I mean, for me, it's going back to, you know, my wrestling days when, you know, I wrestled and, you know, so forth, and I would win some championships, or football. You know, that's something that I would say, man, you know, go back and say, what state was I in? You know, just a little more like Anthony Robbins, what he talks about. When you actually trigger that to current situations, you can motivate yourself. Also, it's external. what is it that's supporting you in terms as far as your business? Who's there to support you? I know that this company here has a lot of support. You have Elizabeth that actually, is a brain as far as the broker side of it. Juan.Martinez, the sales part of it. And you also have you guys, right? You think about it. We're like a little family here, when you're up and, your ups and downs, but then you turn around, you smile, and you lift each other up. So you think about resources, right? And here's a quote, all growth comes from frustration, right? Once you're frustrated, when you're like, you know what, that's it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm done, let's go. That's something you have to look at in terms as far as growing. Okay, in order to hit our goals, we need to control, one, our environment, right? If we have a clean environment where we basically have something very simple, very clean, like I look at my desk all the time, I said, okay, what's the distractions? Am I actually on the internet while I'm prospecting? Am I looking at my phone when I'm actually, prospecting? Am I texting somebody? Am I looking at my emails? Another thing too is if you're home, are you actually listening to the radio? Are you watching television? Or are you emailing and stuff like that? You have to control your environment. So that's one thing you have to question yourself. Is the environment right for you? Is the environment there to support you, right? And I think that this office, we do have a great environment to support anybody's goals, right? Like Juan says, a license doesn't have, you're going to make 50,000. You're going to make 100,000. You're going to make 500,000. You could have that number be 1 million, 2 million. It's up to us. It's up to you, right? Mindset. Who are you hanging out with? Are the people you're hanging out with, are they actually the right people for you guys? You think about it. You have friends that you've known for a very long time, which they're good friends. But are they actually the ones that are going to help you or catapult you to get you to the next level? That's something you got to think about, right? Are you hanging out with the right people? Are they actually helping you think bigger? Are they opening your minds to saying, you know what, if they could do it, I could do it? Guess what? We're all flesh, right? I mean, there's no difference between me, Elizabeth, Juan, Carlos. They've done it, so why can't I? All right. Also, too, is you have to read a good book, meaning that you always have to read a good book. Like right now, I'm reading the book right now. I just picked this up. I have another book, and I'm always reading a book. I know that they say that chances of you finishing a book is slim to none. So I always actually have a book in my briefcase, or if I'm here just relaxing, I'll just go over my notes. On Saturdays, I come here, read something real quick, write it down, and so forth. Chanting affirmations. Are you guys actually chanting your affirmations? Are you writing an affirmation that's going to help you? Right? I was actually at the Century 21 conference, and there was for top producers, and this guy just did a class. Zeke, you were there. Where he talked about affirmations. He said, is your affirmation helping you, or is the affirmation doing you injustice, right? So you have to look at that as, I am powerful, right? So that's something you have to affirm to yourself every day. Accountability. Do you have people holding you accountable? Are there actually people there to say, look, you can do it? Are you on schedule? Are you doing this? You told me you're going to do this. Is that working out for you? And also, too, is groups, mastermind groups. Are you guys breaking out little groups in terms as far as saying, okay, what is working for you? What's not working for me? What is it that actually I could do to improve my business? In this business, we all got to share, little things, little nuggets, as we call it. Because if I'm not sharing, guess what? I'm not helping you grow. And obviously, in this business, we want everybody to grow. I see Juan's vision. He wants a business to dominate. He just wants, something like Century 21, they're like, man, these are powerhouses. I was actually, one of my listings about a couple weeks ago is my $700,000 listing, and the agent's a Century 21 agent. She looked at me, she was like, man, how did you guys do it? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you guys are the #1 office in Vegas, and you guys are just barely new to this brand. What is it you guys are doing? I said, well, when you have a broker telling you, make the call every day when you're actually here in the office, guess what? That's like someone pushing you, nudging you. Come on, you can do it. Some people may get irritated because they're like, all right, enough. But guess what? That nudge is actually helping you push and grow. Another thing, too, is time management. Okay? Do you actually have a schedule? Do you say, okay, from 8:30 to 5, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna maybe, take a little break, talk, whatever. Am I actually on track? I know I wrote down my schedule Saturday, and I'm thinking, man, you know what? I'm not really being efficient with my time, because we prospect from 9 to 12. We go to lunch, and after lunch, what is it you're doing? Are you having a good lunch that actually helps you? Here's another thing too: is your lunch. Are you having a light lunch where you're gonna be energetic? We're ready to go, because we tend to have lunches that are heavy and stuff like that. And guess what? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you don't want to go to work. You want to relax. You want to be on a computer, do a little paperwork, which we think is actually work. But guess what? We're not actually out producing. We need to generate leads every day. Every day we got to go out there and generate leads. We got to find somebody who's looking to sell and buy. So that's basically our job. Skills. What are your skills? Have you basically say, listen, I'm going to do an analysis as far as myself. And you have to be honest. You have to be truthful to yourself. You don't have to do it in front of, a person and tell you, well, I'm the best salesperson. Well, yeah, because that's what you're affirming. But you have to be honest with yourself. Are you actually doing the things you say you're going to do? Are you actually reading your scripts? There's just listed, just sold, expired, FISBOs, center influence, lead follow-up, listen presentation. Are you actually handling objections? If you're doing open houses, are you doing great open houses? Are you having the signs out there to get to exposure? If you're the internet person, are you doing everything possible that you could actually do to expose yourself in the internet? If you're doing commercials, are you doing the right commercials to target your audience? If you're door knocking, are you actually getting the right flyer? Are you knocking on the door, properly, or, saying hi? It's something you always have to analyze and look at yourself and be realistic. Okay, what is it I can do to improve myself? Because we just go day to day to day and not realize, okay, this is my hiccup. This is what I could do, Because at the end, the one actually who's stopping us from growing is yourself, right? Like myself. You look at it. Why is it that I'm not doing 100, 250, or 200 transactions? Well, is it mindset? Is it skills? Is it that I don't have the resources? That's something you have to look at. And here's the thing that, we look at, winning starts at the beginning. So we have almost 6 months left in this business as far as this year. So we got to start today at 0, meaning that we have to say, listen, I'm going to start fresh. Forget about this 5 months that's gone on. If it hasn't happened in terms as far as your closings or your listings, start fresh today. So listen, today is the day that I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to apply the skills. I'm going to take this from, Bill. I'm going to take this from Juan. I'm going to implement this to my business plan and make it happen.